Home Alone is probably one of my favorite Christmas movies of all time. And when I pay tribute to a movie with my t-shirts, I like to do it in a subtle way. So instead of having like just like the movie poster on a shirt, I decided to make a t-shirt using the Little Nero's Pizza logo. And while I'm at it, hey, I love making t-shirts too. So I thought it'd be a great opportunity to show you 3 different t-shirts with 3 different imprint methods. And so in this video, that's exactly what we're going to do. And before we get started, do me a favor, hit that like button. And if you like content like this, be sure to subscribe to our channel so you can have more videos in your feed every week. So starting with this shirt right here, this is a Sublimation t-shirt. It's about a 4.2 ounce, so it's very lightweight, and it's 100% polyester. So what transfer did I pair it with? You know I had to go Sublimation on 100% polyester tee. It really works because the shirt is so lightweight that we have to go with the Sublimation transfer, which is the lightest feeling transfer on the planet. Actually, that's not a correct statement. There's literally no feeling at all. Because the sublimation ink, or it's actually a dye, because it bonds directly with the material, you cannot feel it. The printed area feels just like an unprinted area. That's how soft it is. Great t-shirt. This is a retail fit from Sublimation, so it's going to be very true to size, not too big, not too tight. Really just a great fitting t-shirt. Now, right here in the middle, this is our AS Color Heavy long sleeve. This is a much more heavyweight shirt, about double. This, I want to say, is about an 8-ounce t-shirt, so it's very nice, especially for the winter. It's also very trendy. It's on trend right now because it has that more relaxed fit. So super cool t-shirt. Because this is the heavyweight shirt, I had to apply my heavyweight transfer. So we have heat transfer vinyl on this graphic. The thing I love about vinyl is it's extremely durable, and the colors are probably the most durable colors in the industry. The color fastness is insane. You can wash vinyl over and over again and the color doesn't bleed or fade. So that's really important because it's a heavier weight transfer. You're not really going to notice it on this heavyweight material. Also, which is the case for all these transfers, there's a lot of negative space, meaning unprinted areas throughout the area on the transfer. So that's just going to result in a very lightweight feeling transfer, regardless of what print method we're using. Now, for our third and final t-shirt over here, this is an AS Color. I believe this is their staple ringer. It's kind of a more lightweight. I want to say it's around a 4.5 ounce t-shirt, just a little bit thicker and heavier than the Sublimation shirt we did over here. Now, this is a ringer tee, so it does have the contrasted neck. I'm kind of messing this up right here. And sleeve hems. So the collar and the sleeve hems are that really cool ringer contrast. Retro style, I think it's very on point, especially considering this movie came out in like 1990. So very much on point, very retro, very cool. And for this t-shirt, we went with a direct-to-film transfer. Now, what I really love about this transfer is it prints in white. So this white area, of course, is unprinted on these shirts. On this shirt, it's printed, which means that I could put this transfer on any light colored garment, pretty much any garment that's not black, because the text is black. I could put this transfer on there. So it's very versatile, and this is actually the fastest transfer we pressed of all 3. The shirt itself is just a little bit bigger than what I would consider a retail fit, not quite relaxed. I guess I would say it's more of a classic fit. Great shirt, incredibly soft, great material. So that's a basic overview of these 3 t-shirts and the transfer methods I used, but let me take you through the process of each one, starting with sublimation. So when you're working on a sublimation shirt, the first thing we're going to do is we're going to import our graphic into the print software. Now, because I'm printing on a Sawgrass SG-1000, I'm importing into Sawgrass Print Utility, adjusting my settings, make sure I have the right paper size, material, making sure all of those settings are correct, and then I just click print and it's ready to go. Now, once the print is done, it's actually ready to be pressed. So I'm going to take it over to my heat press, which is set to 385 degrees Fahrenheit, 60 seconds, medium pressure. I am using a pressing pillow for this, and the pressing pillow is just to ensure that we don't have any nasty press marks on our t-shirt. Pressing pillow goes on, t-shirt over that. We're going to put our transfer with the ink side facing down against the t-shirt, cover it with a piece of parchment paper, and press. Now, it's very important to remember that when you're using a pressing pillow, you only need to compress it to about 60 or maybe even 50% thickness. Any more than that, if you squish it any more than that, you risk damaging the pillow or negating the purpose of the pillow. You're still going to get the imprint of the pillow because you squished it so hard. Now, once the timer reaches 0, we're going to carefully open our heat press. The reason why we're very careful at this point, we don't want the transfer to shift on the surface of our t-shirt. So carefully open the heat press, making sure nothing moves or shifts. Remove the parchment paper and quickly remove that transfer. And you're done. It's that easy. We have literally the softest t-shirt transfer on the market, done in 60 seconds. This is softer than any screen print, DTF, DTG. On a softness point of view or perspective, literally the best t-shirt on the planet. Cannot beat Sublimation for lightness and feel. Now, moving on to heat transfer vinyl. Let me show you how we did this t-shirt. Now, for this graphic, we are going to have to work with a vector style graphic. So if you don't already have your graphic converted, that's something that you need to do. I've already done it, and I've already set up my cut file. Now, when you're working with vinyl, every different color is going to be a different piece of vinyl that has to be cut and heat pressed individually. I set my cut sheet up a little bit different here. What I was able to do is position some scraps of vinyl so that way I could cut them all in a single pass. So I'm going to put those into my Silhouette Cameo 5. I love this cutter, by the way. It's going to cut out all of my graphics, all 3 colors at once. And then after that is the part that honestly I'm not a fan of. You got to weed out the excess. So we're going to kind of speed this up, weed out all of the excess so only your image is left behind on the vinyl. So now from here, we're going to head on over to our heat press, which is set to 305 degrees Fahrenheit. You could set yours to 10 to 15 seconds, and it's going to be at a medium firm pressure. And then I'm going to start with my first layer, the background layer, which is our black layer. Going to press that to the shirt. Now, when you're layering vinyl, you only need to press the initial layers for about 3 seconds or so, just enough to get them to stick. So 3 seconds here, remove the carrier sheet. You could peel that hot, warm, it's fine. And then next, I'm going to put down both layers because they're not overlapping. I could press them at the same time. So I'm going to position this red and green layer here, cover it with parchment. And again, I'm only going to press these layers for about 3 seconds. Once that's done, I'll remove all the carrier sheets and give the entire transfer the final press for 10 seconds. Now, this is going to be one of the most durable transfers out there. Heat transfer vinyl is incredibly resilient. You could wash it a gazillion times, and it's going to look great. The colors don't run, as I already mentioned. They don't bleed or fade. Really great. And it's a little bit thicker than other transfer methods, definitely thicker than sublimation, but that's going to be okay because we're pairing it with this heavyweight t-shirt, and I think that looks fantastic. All right, 2 down, 1 to go. Let me show you how we did the DTF transfer for our last t-shirt. So this is going to start in a program called DigiRip. Now, this is the rip software that is used to send graphics to print from our DTF station printer. Today, I'm using the DTF Prestige R2. Absolutely love this thing. And the process is really simple. I import my graphic, I resize it, and I like to make sure that it's centered to my film. That is not necessary, it's just something I like to do. And then I click print. It's that simple. Now, once it's done printing, I'm going to trim my transfer off the main roll of film and bring it over to my powdering station. Now, that's where we apply the adhesive to the wet ink. Now, I'm going to use my transfer as a scoop. I'm going to kind of scoop up some adhesive, create a line across, and then just kind of move the transfer left to right underneath that powder so the entire print gets coated with a thin layer of powder. I'm going to shake off the excess, and to make sure that I don't have any excess powder around my print, I give it a few flicks from behind just to make sure that the only powder on there is what's stuck to the wet ink. From here, we bring it over to our curing oven. This is the DTF Station Phoenix Air. It has a built-in fume extractor with air purification, so I'm a really big fan of that. And we load this with the ink and powder side facing up. Because I'm using Color Prime Universal Film and the Color Prime powder, my settings on the oven are going to be 256 degrees for 60 seconds. Again, your settings might vary depending on what you're using. Once the time is complete, I'm going to open the lid, pull my transfer out, disengage the timer, turn off the air purifier, and we're ready to rock and roll. I'm going to load my t-shirt on the lower platen, and like we did with everything else, I'm going to pre-press it to eliminate any wrinkles and moisture. Once that's ready, bring the DTF transfer over. Now we're going to place the transfer on the t-shirt. The color side should be facing up, so you should see your graphic as it's supposed to look on your t-shirt. Make sure that it's centered, cover it with parchment paper, and we're going to press it. Now that my heat press is set to 315 degrees Fahrenheit for 15 seconds with firm pressure. Once the timer is done, we're going to open our heat press carefully, and this is a hot peel. So I'm immediately going to peel it in a quick, smooth motion. And once it's done, going to cover it with parchment one more time for our finishing press. For about 5 seconds, we're going to press it with the parchment paper. Once that is complete, our shirt is done. The colors are great. One thing I really like about DTF is that because it prints with a white underbase, I could use this transfer on any color t-shirt. So if I would have printed a bunch of those, I could have done them on my white, red, green, other colored shirts, pretty much anything except for black, since the text on this graphic is black. But it looks great. DTF transfers are super durable, so I'm very happy with this. Honestly, looking at these 3 shirts, each of them have their strengths, and I'm gonna have a very, very hard time picking out which one is my favorite. In fact, I don't think I have a favorite at all. I love all 3 of these. If you're interested in getting started with your very own sublimation, heat transfer vinyl, or direct-to-film transfers, or you want to order custom sublimation and direct-to-film transfers, head on over to heatpressnation.com. Not only do we have one of the nation's largest selections of heat transfer equipment and supplies, we also offer TruePrint custom transfers, which is where you could order your very own custom transfers printed just for you in either sublimation or direct-to-film. All of this is available at heatpressnation.com, so head on over there today.